What transpired in the wake of their hit that put Dexys Midnight Runners on the list of one-hit wonders? In 1978, Dexys Midnight Runners, also known as Dexys, was founded in Birmingham, England by two key figures, singer-guitarist-songwriter Kevin Rowland and guitarist-songwriter Kevin "Al" Archer. Their musical influences were a diverse mix of pop, rock, new wave, soul, and Celtic music. Kevin Rowland, who had Irish heritage and frequently traveled between Ireland, London, and Birmingham, drew inspiration from Celtic folk and northern soul music, infusing these elements into the band's sound. The band's unique name, Dexys Midnight Runners, was derived from the energy drug Dexedrine. After their formation, they began recruiting additional members, leading to several lineup changes over time. The band eventually solidified with members that included Big Jim Patterson on trombone, Jeff Blythe on tenor saxophone, Steve "Babyface" Spooner on alto saxophone, Mick Talbot on keyboards, Pete Williams on bass, and Andy Stoker Grocott on drums. However, it's worth noting that throughout the band's existence, they would experience numerous personnel shifts. In their early years, Dexys Midnight Runners faced financial challenges, partly due to their relatively large lineup. Their debut single, Dance Stance, initially went unnoticed. However, their follow-up single, Gino, which paid tribute to American R&B soul singer Gino Washington, soared to the top of the British charts in 1980. The subsequent single, There, There, My Dear, also achieved success by reaching number 7 on the charts. The band's debut album, titled Searching for the Young Soul Rebels, released in 1980, was a groundbreaking blend of punk rock and northern soul music. This album made a significant impact in British music circles, garnering attention and praise for its unique sound and style. Despite their initial success, tensions within the band began to mount, primarily stemming from Kevin Rowland's controlling nature and restless creative spirit. Eventually, all band members except for Rowland and Jim Patterson chose to leave Dexys Midnight Runners due to these conflicts and differences in vision. This marked a turning point in the band's history, setting the stage for a series of challenges and transformations in the years to come. After the departure of most of its original members, Dexys Midnight Runners underwent a significant transformation, marking the second formation of the band. Kevin Rowland and Jim Patterson remained at the helm, determined to carry on the Dexys legacy. This reformation presented both challenges and opportunities for the band. In 1982, Dexys Midnight Runners returned to the music scene with a new lineup, which included violinist Helen O'Hara and vocalist-keyboardist Billy Adams, among others. This revamped lineup brought a fresh dynamic to the band's sound. The violin, in particular, played a prominent role in their music, adding a unique and distinctive element. It was during this phase of Dexys Midnight Runners' career that they achieved their greatest stardom. Their second album, Tu Rae, released in 1982, was a pivotal moment for the band. The album featured the immensely successful single, Come On Eileen, which catapulted Dexys to international stardom. The song showcased their signature blend of Celtic influences, soulful melodies, and rock-infused rhythms. Come On Eileen topped the charts in several countries, including the United States and the United Kingdom. The track's catchy refrain and spirited fiddle performance by Helen O'Hara made it an anthem of its time. The accompanying music video further solidified their image as a band with a unique and energetic stage presence. The success of Come On Eileen not only defined Dexys Midnight Runners as a one-hit wonder, but also left an indelible mark on the music industry. The song's widespread popularity and critical acclaim earned the band accolades, including awards and nominations. With their newfound stardom, Dexys Midnight Runners experienced a surge in popularity, performing on major television shows and touring extensively. Their energetic live performances and distinctive look, characterized by dungarees and berets, became iconic symbols of the early 1980s music scene. However, despite the immense success of Come On Eileen and the album, Dexys Midnight Runners struggled to replicate this level of achievement with subsequent releases. One significant change was the band's evolving musical direction. Dexys adopted a more folk-oriented sound, departing from the brass-heavy arrangements that had characterized their earlier work. This shift resulted in the departure of their brass section, including Big Jim Patterson. These members went on to form their own act, the TKO Horns. Additionally, Pete Billingham decided to leave the band during this period. Despite their continued success, the lineup of Dexys Midnight Runners became increasingly unstable. Much of this instability can be attributed to clashes with the band's frontman, Kevin Rowland, who had gained notoriety for his perfectionism and controlling attitude. As internal conflicts simmered, only Kevin Rowland, Billy Adams, and violinist Helen O'Hara remained in the band. This marked a stark contrast to the original lineup, and the changes in personnel were reflective of the challenges the band faced. In 1985, Dexys Midnight Runners released their third album, Don't Stand Me Down. However, the album's creation was protracted, taking a year and a half to complete, primarily due to Rowland's relentless pursuit of perfection. Rowland had a unique vision for the album. He insisted that no singles should be released from it. Instead, he intended for the album to be experienced as a whole, akin to the concept albums of the 1970s. Unfortunately, this decision to forego singles and prioritize the album as a cohesive piece of work had adverse consequences. Don't Stand Me Down proved to be a critical and commercial disappointment, failing to resonate with audiences as their previous hits had. The album's experimental nature and Rowland's insistence on artistic integrity contributed to its mixed reception. Amid these challenges and the disappointing reception of Don't Stand Me Down, Dexys Midnight Runners disbanded in 1986. Following the breakup of Dexys Midnight Runners in 1986, Kevin Rowland embarked on a solo career that unfortunately met with little success. This period of his life was marked by financial difficulties and a deep sense of dejection. The once iconic frontman found himself in deep debt and grappling with depression, struggling to recapture the glory of his earlier career. In 2003, after several failed attempts to reunite the band, Kevin Rowland reformed Dexys Midnight Runners with a new lineup. This marked a significant turning point for the band as they began performing live once again. In the same year, they released a best of album titled Let's Make This Precious, which not only featured their classic hits but also included 2 new songs. Notably, the album saw the participation of former Dexys members Mick Talbot and Pete Williams, adding a sense of continuity to the band's legacy. Big Jim Patterson, who had departed earlier, eventually returned to the fold. In 2012, Dexys Midnight Runners released the album One Day I'm Going to Soar. The album received positive reviews from critics and signaled a triumphant comeback for the band. The first single from the album, She Got a Wiggle, was released in May 2012, followed by a UK tour in September of the same year. Following the tour, Mick Talbot left the group. In 2013, Dexys announced a series of shows in London's West End at the Duke of York's Theatre. These shows would later become the basis for the documentary Nowhere Is Home. Released in 2014, the documentary showcased the band's performances and was issued in both CD and DVD formats. On St. Patrick's Day in 2016, Dexys revealed their 5th studio album, Let the Record Show, Dexys Do Irish and Country Soul. This album featured interpretations of Irish folk standards and songs by contemporary musicians along with guest violinist Helen O'Hara, who recorded with the band for the first time in 30 years. In September 2021, Dexys announced a 40th anniversary remix of their album, Turai to be done by Rowland, O'Hara, and Pete Schweer, titled Turai As It Could Have Sounded. A tour was also planned for September-October 2022 to support the reissue. However, the tour was canceled in March 2022 after Kevin Rowland was injured in a motorcycle accident. In December 2022, Dexys announced their 6th studio album, The Feminine Divine, scheduled for release in 2023. This album marked another milestone in the band's ongoing career. Dexys has continued to evolve, releasing new material, reinterpreting classic songs, and embarking on tours demonstrating their enduring passion for music and their commitment to artistic exploration. With each chapter in their journey, Dexys has reaffirmed their status as a unique and influential force in the music industry.